So Demon Slayer has been one of the highest streamed shows since it started airing in the prior anime season. The first volume of its Blu-ray and DVD combined totals is over 12,000 already sold. This show has been a massive hit since episode 1, and in doing so, the manga sales also have been promoted and just kind of upped from their already successful sales numbers. Episodes like these really highlights why Demon Slayer deserves all of the success it has and then some. This episode is honestly episode of the season contender. That's how strong of an episode this was. In fact, I might even go as far to say this might be my favorite piece of animation and directing Ufotable has ever put out. And that's saying something. Karno Kyokai, the Heavens Feels movies, they have some stunning animation and directing, but this television production, when you see the dance breathing technique go in and we switch from water to flames and that just entire sequence, the dynamic camera movements, we felt like, holy shit, this is a season finale and we did not expect this. We probably expected that, oh, the person who saved Inosuke would probably be the one to save Tanjiro. Nope, we just did something that wasn't pulled from his ass. It reflected from his father and just how his very frail and ill father was able to dance for hours and hours. That breathing technique came out of nowhere up to this point, but there was something there all along. It's just you really gotta have your back against the wall to bring that trump card out, and holy shit, this episode... beautiful episode, seriously. That just end sequence, holy shit, I can't believe what they did here, because like a lot of people, myself included, last week started thinking, okay, Papa Demon probably actually wasn't one of the 12. It has to be this weird manipulative bastard. And to see him not even really take it seriously for most of this episode and seeing just how brutal of a fight it was, especially for Tanjiro. You got Zensu, who was out of commission. He had his life flash before his eyes, and luckily he did get saved because of his breathing technique. You got Inosuke kind of held up in a tree because he's too stupid to recognize he's too injured for battle. And then you have Tanjiro just continuously getting pummeled to the point that there's blood coming out from every area, even where there shouldn't be blood coming out of. And you just see such brutality, and the injuries are just continuing to last, but also get worse and worse, because who else is going to fight this guy? He can't run away. This demon wants Nezuko as his little sister. There's nothing he can do except keep pushing on, but you know there's nothing he can really do, as he can't cut through the threads, and in doing so, because he can't even cut his weapon, he also can't cut through his neck. You're really seeing the power of the 12, and this is apparently just one of the lower versions of kind of some of the top demons he might have to fight, and this was just holy shit. I'm quite happy that Tanjiro was able to overcome this by himself, though. On one hand, I was kind of hoping that maybe it would kind of highlight that he's not ready for the 12 and maybe he has more training to do. But on the other hand, I thought if there's a way for him to realistically defeat this demon and not feel like something randomly came from thin air, I'd want to see it. And I'm really glad that there was a technique from his family passed down and that a frail, ill father was able to do that and dance and kind of ward off evil spirits, things like that. And it's clearly something that takes a hell of a lot of concentration, something that you probably can't do just by the snap of your fingers like Tanjiro. He really had to have his life flash before his eyes to be able to master that, but it will be interesting to see the stronger he gets, the more he'll be able to do techniques such as this just a lot easier without struggling so much. But just seeing those flames and how the demon had to get serious, and then he started using demon blood art, and even that was going to get cut, but at the same time, before this all kicked off, you were just seeing Tanjiro, like, this is the moment I was like, okay, Tanjiro's going to get saved. He's trapped in demonic, just blood arts, cobwebs, there's no way he can cut through that. But then to get that activation of his just dance, that was just some of the hypest shit this season of anime has seen. Like, this is why I'm saying this is episode of the season contender. No one, unless you read the manga, expected that, I can guarantee. Maybe another water form, I'll give people that, but to just see that flame activate, that was just, I was grinning, I was cheering, I was jumping for joy. That's how excited this episode got me towards its end. And then to not only have that, but also have Nezuko use demonic blood arts, like, that was just the icing on the cake, the cherry on top, to just see the combination, the unbreakable bond. You will never take her away from me, to protect her brother as he can land that blow and the head goes flying. That was absolutely spectacular. It was nothing short of 100 out of a 10 episode. That's how strongly I feel. It's a ridiculous statement, I know, but that's just how insane this episode was. And to just see just what this weird demonic brother was doing, I really like the concept that he has this twisted view of family, that people have to listen, follow your rules. The father, the mother, the sisters, the younger sibling, they all have a role to play, and if you don't follow it, he will kill you and replace you. There's something clearly messed up, as he probably had a pretty shitty human life, and as he became a demon and promoted throughout the ranks, that probably just fed into that just hunger for a normal family life, and you're seeing just how far he will go, cutting apart his so-called sister and then easily replacing her with Nezuko after seeing the unbreakable bond that they do share. And I just love how twisted it is, because for someone like Tanjiro, like, his core characteristic is family. Family is what drives him, and having someone who's so twisted, who's been abusing his family, cutting up his family, to then say, I'm going to have her be my sister, and if she doesn't listen, I'll hurt her. Telling someone that just normally that would not go over well, but telling someone like Tanjiro, even a man who's about to pass out and die, that's just the straw that broke Tanjiro's back. And I just love just the twisted mentality of family, and just how just disturbing it was, because the demons, they all have something that lingers in their past in a human life, and just how that can just get even more twisted and really warped in their demonic forms. It's quite interesting, and I just love how this battle, like, we still have one of the siblings left, as she did run away, so she's probably still alive, and I imagine she'll get cut down in next week's episode. But for the most part, it feels like this battle is coming to a close. We got reinforcements, there's not much threats left, and honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if the sister does something similar to the mother and just embraces death, and it's not even that much of a fight. But to see this fight, which was our longest fight, play out, we fought the strongest and most horrifying opponents, and that this just feels like, yes, this is probably the peak of the first season. We still have about 7 episodes left of this series. I think it's 26 episodes total for its first season, so we still have more that we can do. We could have even better fights, maybe. But I just feel like this is the peak of what the first season of Demon Slayer is going to represent for me, and I think that's brilliant, because up to this point, how many times I've been like, wow, this is even better. I thought last week was great. This is even better. There's something just so just like, it puts a bow, and we could have ended the season here if we wanted to, honestly. Even though there's still so much left to tell for this battle, it just feels like so satisfying. Like, we've been watching greatness upon greatness upon greatness, and then we get this god tier episode, and we're just like, how did you do this? How do you even compare? How do you go forward? And that's what I love about this episode, as there was so much emotion and story being told. I love the idea of how they explored Tanjiro's father, as the entire point of this episode is the idea of life flashing before your eyes. You have Nezuko, who was in a pretty bad spot, once again talking with her mother, life flashing before her eyes, giving that motivation that she needs to wake up and not give in. You have Zensu, whose grandfather's wisdom was able to help him breathe and keep the poison away from his vital areas. You have Inosuke, who probably would have got himself killed had he not been tied up. And then, of course, you have Tanjiro, he's probably the closest to death. Even worse off than Zensu was, because look at how much he was getting pummeled. And I love that there was this like life flashing before your eyes message, and how in those moments it feels like, even though there's no answer, it feels as if maybe that happens because you're desperately trying to find something within your memories, a lesson, a person that can give you the answer in how to survive and not give into the light and walk to your deathbed. And I think in a situation like this, especially for Tanjiro, you needed that. And that's why I love when you see just the collage of all his memories in the family, and just how that just activates just such a beautiful memory that allows him to be the most badass thing we've seen in Demon Slayer to date, and I love that. Hell, the episode just kicks off with, the cliffhanger is immediately he didn't lose anything, he just got sliced. I was expecting maybe he would lose a finger, an arm maybe. I'm glad they didn't go that route, because if he would have been brutally injured, it would have been difficult to write interesting sequences with like a limbless Tanjiro after seeing just what happened by the end of the episode. So I'm glad he did have good reflexes. It just provided for a great cliffhanger. I don't think anyone honestly thought Tanjiro was going to die there, but then you just get some great Inosuke stuff, and just, I love how he is just drawn into power. He's been kind of worshipping Tanjiro for a while because he just thinks he's cool, but then you just see this guy who he thinks just killed one of the 12, and then when he learns it's not one of the 12, he's just like, of course, I knew it wasn't one of the 12, I was just saying that because stupid Tanjiro said that. And I love how he's so distracted by how cool this guy is, who just looks at him as being a complete and utter idiot for not even recognizing how injured he is. He's able to tie him up without even noticing. There's just such a difference in power, not only with demons, but also just different demon hunters, and I adore the comedy, especially after just kicking into an episode where like, okay, what's going to happen to Tanjiro? Oh, nothing really that bad. I mean, granted, he's pretty injured, but he didn't lose a head or anything like that. And then you just get such ridiculous comedy with Inosuke, and I think you need that before you got into the real serious content within this episode, which, holy shit, I complimented it last week, the idea of just how injured these characters are, and it lasts from battle to battle. In Tanjiro's case, this is one continuous punch after punch, and I just can't believe how brutal they went with this, especially when you see just tortured Nezuko and just the twisting. You felt like this was actually real human bodies at their breaking limit. Even for someone like Nezuko, who was a demon, and Tanjiro having to just hold her arms together so they would be able to repair and heal, it just felt as if we were watching, if you really did toss a body and just pummel a body as much as they did, you felt like this is the brutality you would see, and you don't see this with TV anime, especially just one as just so brutal as Demon Slayer. You would expect a lot of black barbs, hell, white barbs, something. You wouldn't see that much blood dripping, and the impact was actually more gruesome than just the blood dripping. You would see bones and just organs shattering from impact, and just the struggling to stand up and just stay alive. That was more brutal than hell, just seeing dripping blood. It's just like, holy shit. How did they do this? How did they manage to make it feel so realistic but also so anime all at the same time? And that's why I say, like, this episode, it had so much emotion. Even if you remove just the gorgeous animation towards the end of the episode, I still would say this could have been contender for episode of the season. Add in that final moment, though, it's like, what's going to be the competition? Obviously, we're not done this season yet. There's still plenty of time for other anime, hell, even Demon Slayer, to top this episode, but it just feels like that's how strong of an episode this was, and we're not even close to being done the season yet. We still have 7 episodes left, and this, holy shit, this arc was incredible. I absolutely just adored it. Foaming at the mouth, just laughing, feeling fear, and feeling the most hyped I felt watching anime in quite some time, I have to say. Let me know what everyone thought, though, down in the comment section below. Manga readers, anime originals, what did you think of this very gripping episode of Demon Slayer? Let me know. Be sure to like the video if you did enjoy, and also hit that subscribe button if you have been new. So until next time, everyone, please take care and have a good one.